Hey there guys, it's TheRamosOnline here, and this is part 2 of my 2-part guide on how to use Diancie. For those who aren't aware, Diancie was released in Japan on the 6th of July as a pre-release event, and will be released to the general public from the 19th and onwards. I say general public because I'm not entirely sure if that means internationally or just Japan, but whatever. There is a Diancie floating around from the pre-release event that is adamant with max IVs and HP, attack and special attack, and yes, it is completely legal. So if someone trades it to you, accept it because it is a legal Diancie. If it can be traded, it is 100% legal. It can even be used online. I have just got a lot of rage quits from using Diancie, and not because it's overpowered, but because people think it hasn't been released yet, so they instantly disconnect when they see it in Team Preview, thinking I'm a hacker of sorts, whatever, I don't know. So my Diancie, as you should know if you've seen the previous episode, ended up being sassy with 31, 31, 16, 30, 31 and 16 IVs. This is a very good spread for a Diancie. You want a lot of special defense, HP, and the attacking stats are just brilliant to boot. Unfortunately, my Diancie does let me down in the defense department, but you can't win them all. So the build I use with my Diancie is maximum HP and maximum special defense, and I rely on the Diamond Storm signature move of Diancie to boost my defense. What Diamond Storm does is it boosts the defensive stat for every Pokemon it hits, and it only has a 50% chance of triggering, but that's a 50% chance of boosting your defense by a possible 2 stages in doubles. That is scary. I like to call Diancie the Charizard and Talonflame Punisher. It doesn't just counter them. If it kills them, then it has a 50% chance of making itself even tankier, which means if the opponent is silly enough to use a Talonflame or Charizard Y, not only are they losing this Pokemon to Diancie, but they are potentially making Diancie even tankier, which means it's going to be harder for them to kill it. It's a double-edged sword. No, it isn't. It is just danger for them. It is big danger. She doesn't have the best offensive stats at 100 and 100, but hey ho, you know, we can work with those. So I use Diamond Storm for just to boost my defenses. I have Moonblast as my fairy type stab. It hits a lot of things. The only things that resist it are Poison and Steel, and I wouldn't exactly have Diancie in on a Steel type. And Poison, she takes neutral damage because she's part Rock. So yeah. So we actually run Trick Room on this version of Diancie because Diancie's low base speed means she gets a lot of use inside a Trick Room. She'll be moving first almost every turn. I run Calm Mind in that last slot to boost my special attack, as well as boosting my special defense, because it gets to a certain point where your defense is way higher than your special defense if you've been using Diamond Storm a lot, and the other player just starts hitting you specially because that is your weaker point from that point onwards. If that made any sense, then amazing, because I'm half asleep right now. I just woke up, guys. Other things you can have there instead of Calm Mind is Reflect, which allows Diancie to pretty much instantly set up a way of nullifying physical attacks on the first turn if you are worried about Diamond Storm not proccing. Because remember, Diamond Storm only has a 50% chance of proccing, so it is, you know, it's a bit iffy. Because Diancie is a mutated Carbink, her move pool is pretty similar, almost identical. She even gets Gyro Ball if you really wanted to use it. It's a TM in Generation 6. Dazzling Gleam is a good move you can have as well as Moonblast. Now why do I say as well as Moonblast? You want to be able to hit things as hard as possible because Diancie is not running a offensive set. So if you run Dazzling Gleam, sure you'll be hitting 2 Pokemon, but 1, it's got lower base power, and 2, it's a spread move. Spread moves deal less damage for every target they hit. Diamond Storm is already hitting 2 targets, we don't need another one of those, but you can always use it if you are strange, I guess. She gets things like Nature Power. Light Screen is another one. You can actually use Diancie as a screen setter if you really wanted. But why would you want to limit a legendary to a screen setter? Come on, guys. Return, Rock Polish, Rock Slide, Sharpen, Sleep Talk. As you can see, she gets a lot of these moves that that Carbink gets. I currently run the Reflect on my Diancie, but I am slowly wanting to go towards using Reflect, Calm Mind to help boost my special attack, which basically punishes people for not having a wall breaker. I know it sounds pretty bad, but Diancie isn't actually the most overpowered legendary in the game. Anyway, this part of the video has gone on for way too long, so let's get into the battle. So going into the double battle, which is actually against a friend, Magiku, so big thanks to him. I'll leave a link in the description below to his, I think his YouTube and his Twitch. He's more of a Twitch guy, I'm more of a YouTube guy. So he's going to lead with his shiny Nidoking and shiny Gyarados, as I lead with Diancie and Siesta. You might have seen that Diancie is in a love ball. I don't use power saves often, but when I do, I change balls. So I go for Protect on Siesta, as he goes for Dragon Dance on his Moxie Gyarados. And I think he goes for the Sludge Bomb onto Siesta, but she was protecting herself, so it didn't do anything. I am safely able to get up my Trick Room, and I can just go for Disable on the next turn, shutting down this Nidoking, as I'm going to go for the Diamond Storm. It's going to be super effective on Gyarados, because it is not a Mega Gyarados, so it is weak to rocks. It's definitely going to be a 2-hit KO. Gyarados goes for the Waterfall on Diancie, and even with the +1, it's not quite going to be enough to finish her off. She barely hangs on, but not going to take any more damage this turn, and I do have Heal Pulse on my Puff. So Diancie is now going to be up almost to full health, as I'm going to get off my second Diamond Storm, and hopefully get a defensive boost. I can't remember if I do or don't. Because remember, it is only a 50% chance per opponent it hits. So I'm not going to get a defensive boost there. He's actually going to go for the Earth Power on Siesta instead of on Diancie. He probably realized that Siesta can keep Diancie alive quite a while. Now he's going to go into Vanilla, Shiny Goodra. This seems kind of familiar. It's actually one of the rejects I had that also was shiny, so I hadn't got the best IVs in the world. But yeah, so Vanilla has made the rounds herself. Gonna do some nice damage, and I'm also gonna get my defensive boost there. Now, this is where I find out he actually runs Sludge Wave on his Goodra, which is not going to be enough to finish off Siesta just yet. Now he's going to go for Ice Beam, and that is on Diancie. Okay, Diancie's going to take that pretty well. She's still pretty healthy, and I can just keep going for my Diamond Storms. I have no reason not to. Diamond Storm is a physical move, Goodra is a special wall, so you know, that is the best way of attacking this. Going to go for another Diamond Storm. I want to buff up, I want to bulk up on my defense. I'm going to do some nice damage. I think it's a 3 to 4 hit KO on a defensive Goodra. He's going to go for the Sludge Wave again. That is going to be enough to finish off Siesta this time. Nidoking is also taking some damage from that, but not much because Nidoking is Poison Ground. Gonna go for the Earth Power on Diancie, which is super effective because she is Rock type, and again, almost takes her out, but she barely hangs on, and thanks to lefties, she is taken out of the red zone. Nidoking's Sludge Bomb is no longer disabled. I can now safely go into Siesta, however, because the main threat to Diancie is coming from the Nidoking. So Setsuna, did I say Siesta? I can't remember who I said, but I did mean Setsuna if I didn't say that. Setsuna's going to Mega Evolve, and I can just go straight for the Sucker Punch onto the Nidoking. That is going to take that thing out, so that thing is not going to scare my poor little Diancie anymore. Down it goes. And Vanilla is going to go for a Fire Blast, which is a much better move than Flamethrower to run, but I run Flamethrower for the accuracy. Also going to get the burn, 30% chance, and because the Diancie wasn't attacked, she's able to safely get up another Trick Room. Very, very handy to get these Trick Rooms set up. Going to get more lefties recovery, and some burn damage because I'm on fire. Poor Setsuna is on fire. Now he's going to go into his Talonflame here, however inside a Trick Room, Sucker Punch will move before Brave Bird. It's a crit as well, which definitely mattered. I definitely would not have been dealing much damage to this Talonflame with Setsuna if not for that crit. Gonna go for the Brave Bird, but Diancie has got a few boosts and she does resist flying, so it's not going to be enough to finish her off, and I am going to be able to set up my Reflect, which basically makes his Talonflame pretty much useless. Goodra, Vanilla rather, is going to finish off Setsuna with a Thunderbolt, and down she goes. So yeah, poor Setsuna's gone down, but Diancie is still in the game. Defensive tank still in the red, but with that lefty's recovery and all the defensive boosts, Diancie won't be going down anytime soon. Gonna go for the Brave Bird. He's probably realised he can't kill my Diancie with the Brave Bird. But Mushana's going to take it pretty well as well, because Mushana is a physical wall. And I'm just going to Psychic Vanilla, just to do some damage to it. Not much, but I wanted to get it low enough to ensure that Diamond Storm would be able to kill it, so I would be getting the double KO this turn. Which means I have 2 chances to boost my defense, but I only get 1 defense boost. But that 1 defense boost means a lot in the long run, as Machiku is brought down to his last 2 Pokemon, which is going to be, one of them is a big problem. It's going to be the Excadrill and the Gengar. Now I know the Excadrill is Scarfed, and because it's bred in Gen 6, it does not have Iron Head, it has Metal Claw. That's probably why not many people run Excadrill right now, because Iron Head is a move 2 to move, which is slightly strange considering it really does have iron on its head, but whatever, Game Freak, you want to be weird, be weird. Now I'm gonna go for the Moonblast on the Excadrill, and I'm not sure what that Gengar did, I think I missed it, but Excadrill is going for the Rock Slide. Now he's going for the Rock Slide. He told me he went for this because he is Mold Breaker. He couldn't go for the Earthquake because it would kill his Gengar. Basically he was going to start trying to go for the Flinch. Now I'm going to get my Psychic off on this Gengar. I think I went for the Calm Mind actually, I can't remember, I wasn't paying for attention. He's going to hang on with the Focus Sash, and I'm going to go for the Diamond Storm this turn again, just to pick up the KO on that Gengar. So with Gengar gone, the battle is pretty much sealed. Excadrill doesn't have much hope of KOing my Diancie. Gonna go for the Rock Slide again, but as you can see, it's not stab, and it barely does any damage at all. I'm healing more through leftovers than I'm taking damage from the Excadrill. My Trick Room does end, but there's no reason for me to set it back up, and Diancie's actually going to avoid this Rock Slide as well. So I just go for the Calm Mind. Actually, I think I do set up the Trick Room again. That's probably why I went for the Calm Mind, just so I can try and finish off this Excadrill. But you know, you guys can probably tell how the battle is going to end. So as you can see, Diancie in doubles, very, very viable. Even the Adamant one, I've run the Adamant one in a few free battles, and the people who don't DC upon seeing it do give it a run for its money. It's not as viable as my Sassy one, so I do prefer using my Sassy one online, but I thought I'd also give the Adamant one a try just to see how well it can run, because Adamant is the one that currently everyone should be getting hold of, because that is the only one that has been cloned. Don't bother asking, I'm afraid I will not be cloning my Sassy Diancie or trading it around. So I just thought I'd show you guys how I run my Diancie, and it's pretty much, yeah, it is a guide video. I'm not sure what I'm saying, I'm half asleep guys, get off my back. So if you like what you see, remember to hit that subscribe button. I will probably have a link somewhere in this video linking you to the first half of the guide. And I guess I will see you guys later on today in the live stream. So thank you very much for watching.